Some of you, your rituals to work out 5 times a week, I can see it clearly. And I've had moms and dads, entertainers, Serena Williams in the sports field, Hugh Jackman, Pitbull, Usher, you name it. So the one thing they all have in common, I think, is they're hungry. And I know that sounds simplistic, but I believe that's the single most important element that separates the quality of people's lives. It's not just the ability to have hunger, but to sustain it. Hunger means that you want more. You want more of yourself. You want to make a bigger difference. You want to be a better parent. You want to do something more than there is today, and that you don't get satisfied. Most people start out with hunger at an early stage of life and they lose it. But the people that come to me are hungry either because something's happened, they've had a birthday with a 0 on it, they've gone through a divorce, they're starting a business and they know I've got to have a different level, or they're the best in the world and they're always looking for that edge that makes the difference. I think everybody is born with hunger. Like there's a desire to grow, to expand, to learn, and then disappointment sets in early in life for most people, and then we look to blame something outside of ourselves. And there are many events in our lives that can affect us all. We've all had pain and challenges, but I think if you can find within yourself the part of you that wants to constantly give something more than yourself, if you can find a mission larger than yourself, then you're more pulled to do something than trying to push yourself. And pull has much more power than push.
How to overcome adversity daily with Tony Robbins. When you're hungry, you want more of yourself. You want to make a bigger difference. You want to do something more than there is today. The biggest challenge is to sustain it. With hunger, there's a desire to grow, expand, and to learn. We look to blame someone outside of ourselves. Find the part of within yourself that wants to do something bigger than yourself. Motive does matter. One of Tony Robbins' mentors said to try to find a way to add more value than anyone else does. Be the person who does more for others and you won't need anything else. You have to have a willingness not to please people, but to do what is right.
One of me right now is The Believing Brain, which is fascinating. It talks about how our beliefs control our life, control our experience of reality, how it's shaped by both biochemistry and your environment. Really, really great. One of the most important ones was early in my life. One of my mentors, a man named Jim Rohn, said, Tony, all you have to focus on in your life is find a way to add more value than anybody else does, and you'll never have to worry about anything. Be the person that does more for others, and life will just be anything you want out of it. Really is what it is. And he also said the way to do that is every day work harder on yourself than anything else. Because if you become more intelligent, more valuable, more skilled, you can add more value to other people. So for people who aren't, I'm on stage 50 hours in a weekend. I got 10,000 people. I do 26.5 miles on one day. It starts at 8:30, goes to literally 1 o'clock in the morning. I do 22 miles 2 days before. So it's like ultra marathon. And now I do these 3-minute nitrogen-filled cases that you get in. It's like a sauna, and it reduces your body temperature to minus 220 Fahrenheit. And that sounds like you'd freeze to death or you'd burn. If you had water in your body, you'd burn. You get 3rd-degree burns. But there's no moisture, and it is amazing. It was developed originally for people with arthritis. I got one from my mother-in-law who had all these problems, no more arthritis challenges. So I started using it. It gives you endorphins. It resets your system. It's an extraordinary piece of technology. It's expensive, but you can go to centers that are showing up all over the U.S. Most of the athletes, the Lakers and so forth, are starting to use it. I think at one stage, it was probably, I love people so much, I want to please people so much, it was the willingness to not please people, to do what's right. And that sounds overly simplistic, but probably getting a divorce is one of those, because even on the day I was being married, I knew it wasn't right, but I didn't want to disappoint her. It sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. And I think the willingness to end that and to take whatever brunt of how people would respond to that, because I never said you should stay in a relationship you're miserable, but people look for a reason to be upset. And because I never would have found this soul if I hadn't done that. If I look at my life and say, what would my life be without Sage? Everything else would be dull by comparison, and I'm not saying that to blow smoke. I mean, this is the gift of my life. I feel like this is where I fill up so I can go rip open the moment for every human I can meet who wants it. And I fill up somewhat with that for sure, because it's my mission, but I fill up even more here. So you don't know what to do. What happens is we just give them our money and say, deal with it. You gotta know that you can't wait till you have a ton of money to start investing. If you can invest in business, even a small amount, you can grow. I don't care how small it is, but you gotta automate it. You gotta take a percentage of what you earn and pretend it's a tax. You're never gonna see that money again. You automate it, it goes straight to the investment account, and you never see it as money you can spend. When you save 20% and you compound it, its numbers are incredible. But then the problem is, if you do that first step, but you don't do the second step, which is become an insider, and understand the rules of the game. I'll give you 2 or 3 of the myths real fast. One, this myth that someone says, give me your money and I'm gonna beat the market. Over any 10-year period of time, 96% of mutual funds will not even match the market. They've all said it. Warren Buffett flat out said today, he said, listen, in my will, 90% of my money, all that money does not go with any mutual fund, it goes straight into the index, What the index is you get a piece of all the largest companies in the world, but it costs almost nothing to get in. You hire someone because you say, I have a family, I have a business, I have a life, I'm not an investor. I'm gonna hire someone who's a professional. It makes sense, they would do better than me.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content.